Yo, what is up guys, it's your boy KPR, and I'm making a video today on all the controller settings and what settings I use. As you guys can see, I've actually been on Overwatch for quite a while, so I got the hang of most of the settings, but there are still some I get confused with, but that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to explain all the settings since I had to research them. So, I've been mostly playing Doom, as you guys saw, and most of the hours are from Overwatch 1, but I still play them in Overwatch 2, unless my teammates are brain dead. Then I just go to Ryan or Ramatra. So, as you guys can see, I have a lot of different settings for all the heroes, and for some, it's because they have hero specific settings, such as Kiriko's auto walking, auto climbing, John Tire auto mount, and Lucio reverse wall riding. But for my case, it's mostly because I like having faster sensitivity on certain characters, usually the flank type ones such as Genji, Tracer, or Cassidy. Alright, so the horizontal and vertical sensitivity are self-explanatory since they're in most games. So the horizontal sensitivity, if you have it higher, it'll let you see left and right much faster, and the lower you have it will make it so you move much slower. The vertical sensitivity, the higher you have it, you look up and down much faster, and the lower you have it, it'll be much slower. For people like Soldier, I would suggest a lower sensitivity so you can track much smoother and be able to control the recoil as you see right now. Alright, so the aim assist strength will make it so the closer you get to the aim assist window, the slower your sensitivity gets, and the easier it is to track the target. And this brings me to the next setting, the aim assist window, which means it's basically the hitbox of which the aim assist strength will start activating. And also, if the aim assist strength is at 0, none of the other settings will matter since it means that there won't be any strength applied. The aim assist ease in is a bit harder to explain because it kind of does the same thing as the aim assist strength with slowing down or fastening your sensitivity the higher or lower you have it. So the higher you have it, the slower the sensitivity is going to get when you get near a target, and the lower you have it, it'll most likely just still be fast. Usually people like having it around 0 to 20, but you must actually be able to hit your shots. So you can start up with a higher aim assist ease in, and keep lowering it as you get used to it in order to hit your shots much smoother. Aim smoothing will make it so your sensitivity will be a bit more slippery and making your sensitivity much faster. I like having my aim smoothing around 90 on flank type of characters, so I'm able to pull flakes off much easier, and usually anything below 85 won't make much of a difference. Inverted aim makes it so when you look left, you look right, and when you look up, you look down. It just reverses the controls essentially. Swap movement slash aim is also self-explanatory, so it'll make it so you move with your right stick and you aim with your left stick. I don't know how that started as a thing, but I'm assuming it's for some sort of condition someone could have. Legacy movement will make it so you look, or my fault, so you move up and down with your left stick, but you also aim left and right. The right stick will make it so you move left and right and let you aim up and down. Next, we have different aim techniques, which is basically how fast your sensitivity ramps up to reach its max sensitivity. If held, most people prefer the dual zone, but I prefer exponential because it feels much smoother for me. So dual zone is most preferred on most controllers because it makes it so the closer you are to a dead zone, it'll be a bit slower, and once it's out, like much out of the dead zone, it'll be much faster. And exponential makes it so the faster you pull on the stick, on like the right stick, it'll be much faster. So I like pulling flicks off, so I believe that's my best sensitivity for me. And linear makes it so it stays at the same sensitivity the entire time, so it doesn't ramp up at all. The next important settings are the reticles, which have four different styles: circle, crosshair, circle and crosshair, and dot, which is what I prefer on most characters. You can click on advanced to mess around with it more and can actually have show accuracy, which makes it so it tracks the hip fire that certain character has, and it'll get wider on characters such as Lifeweaver, Arista, and Tracer. There are a few more, of course. You can choose from an assortment of colors for the reticle, and it's honestly all up to preference. I prefer red because it stands out the most to me in most maps, but default is white. The first setting that says thickness is either for the circle outline or the crosshair depending on which reticle you have active. The next setting will be the crosshair length, which will of course make the crosshair length longer, and it can just be the most ridiculous length possible. The next one will affect how far away the crosshair or the circle is from the center, which is called the center gap. Also, know that this won't change anything if you have accuracy on. Opacity will make it so the outline of the crosshair or circle will become more transparent the lower it is, becoming fully invisible at 0. And the outline opacity does the same thing, but for charge up abilities or alt fires such as Hanzo Zero, Symmetra's alt fire, and Winston's. These are the ones I noticed them on at least. Outline thickness makes it so the thickness of the outline of the dot, circle, crosshair, or whatever reticle you're using makes it much more like thicker. Like it looks kind of weird if you have it all the way up. At least for me, it looked kind of weird. I haven't figured out what outline shift does, and I've tried looking it up online and doing some tests on it, but I haven't seen any true changes to anything. Dot size controls the size of the dot in the middle, self explanatory. Scale with resolution, I have it on so it can look better with the resolution. The ally's health bar will always appear if default is on, and contextual means when their health bar is affected through damage or an as an aid. The friendly outlines means that the marker on top of their head will show if they're out of sight of line, or my fault, out of your line of sight, but occluded makes it so they're always activated even if they're in your line of sight. Wait a minute. I think it still shows it. It's weird. But anyways, there will also be a always on, which is weird because you know does the same thing. Unless I was supposed to save and or not save and quit, but leave the training area in order for it to actually like make the change in the occluded always or the default. I think default might be always on. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. Alright, so next are the bindings. And there are a lot of bindings that you could do. As you guys can see, I like having crouch on instead of toggle crouch, just because it feels much weirder. For me at least, but I could see why some people want to have it on if they're like actually like flanking, so they don't have to hold B the entire time. But for Tracer, I would suggest having it so it's just crouch, not toggle, because doing the spamming crouch and walking is much faster, and it's still just as quiet, which is good. That's a little bit of something advanced movement for Tracer. And the other settings will of course affect your abilities, 1, 2, and 3, and Basically, you can switch them around. I have it switched around for Doomfist, so ability 1 will be RB and ability 2 will be LB because Seismic Slam was RB in Overwatch 1. And, well, there wasn't the power block or whatever it's called. And the interact key is left on D-pad for me. I think default. Is that default? I honestly don't know. But the primary fire and secondary fire, you can switch those around too, depending who you're playing. And I also have it switched around with Doomfist, where primary fires LT and secondary fires RT. So it's the fist that's primary, and little shotgun, knuckle shotgun he has is secondary. Or wait, yeah, secondary. My fault. The next one is the quick melee, which should be the right stick or R3 depending what you're playing on. And then reload is X. Again, you can switch all these controls around. Next weapon, it's empty for this, for all heroes, but on hero specific ones that you can switch it. Of course, there'll be a setting, usually it's right on the D-pad. And previous weapon, I mean, there's no point in putting down. Next, we have the interface, which lets you mess around with, well, the interface, of course, but it's able to let you endorse players, look at menu information, and they also have a capture highlight feature in case you want to capture, like, something yourself, and they also have some settings for the custom games. I usually don't need any of those, because I don't go to custom games. They also have miscellaneous, which is toggle hide other player names, which will hide their names, of course. I'm assuming this is like for streamers and stuff. And they also have toggle UI, which is more like it just takes away like the hero health, like everything you see, all your abilities. Next are communications, which I actually have on for I need healing, just because sometimes as Genji I can't like emote while jumping and not emote, my fault. Open up the chat wheel in order to say I need healing, so I just have it already. But you can put other ones that you want. And they also have other communications, which let you say like I'm on my way, I'm with you, which you can actually say if you should point at someone and you say group up, I think, but you have to toggle it since they changed it recently, or a while ago, not recently. But anyways, they also have pinging, and I actually don't have it on because you have to have. Oh, that's what it was. So left on D-pad's actually supposed to be for pinging. There's also an emote wheel, which if you want to set, I don't know why you want to set it, but you can, of course. And then you also have spectator mode, which lets you like mess around more with the spectating camera, of course. And they also have the replay, which should already be fixed. The settings are alright, but I wish they had more. And with that being said, that should have been all the controls. Let me know if you guys found this useful. Hopefully I was able to explain it well. And with that being said, hope you guys do good in your comp matches. I know I'm going to be having a hell of a time, because if I go heal it, I'm not going to be able to carry unless I'm able to kill a bunch of people with Zen. But anyways, hope you guys have a good day and stay safe. Later.